2022 here with your live show. We're live 7 days a week, 365 days a year. The beauty of the holiday weekend is, as Chris and Brian will attest, I'm in a Monday mood on a Tuesday. It is just wonderful. It is just a great day to be alive. Part of our Pick Dogs community, Pick Dogs family. Chris, how you doing today?
I'm doing all right. Like you said, case of the Mondays. I mean, we had our long weekend last year, but for me, it's sort of carried over a little bit. So I'm going to bounce back today, get on track. And actually, I like today's card a lot more than I did Sunday or Mondays.
All right. Well, how about you, Brian? What's shaking?
I'll tell you, I agree with Chris. I think it's a fantastic card. I mean, yesterday, even though I went 0-3, which is just a terrible, but there was a few games there that it just, especially the Phillies and Giants, I was really sweating that game out. And I got excited when Schwarber hit that home run and tied it. And then the typical Phillies bullpen came in and lost it. But I love the card today. I have a feeling it's going to be at least 2-1. So
all right.
Let's see how today go.
Well, got NHL action tonight. We head to the ice for the semifinal round now of the NHL playoffs. We've got the Colorado Avalanche taking on the who are they playing, Chris? Avalanche are playing Edmonton. Edmonton. Yeah, it's a lot of interest here in NHL as always. What do you think, Chris, of this matchup?
You know, this was one, I think, from a side perspective, I kind of want to see how game one kind of shakes out first. I wouldn't be opposed to taking the value with the Edmonton Oilers here, mainly because, you know, I think the Avalanche had lost focus a little bit playing the Blues, and maybe they focus up going back home, but there's too much talent for Edmonton to really sort of just bow out here. I think they're going to put up a fight, but that's kind of why I like the over. I liked it a lot better at 6.5. I'll still play it at 7. But I think there's going to be goals in bunches, as there should be for these two lineups. I mean, you got Nathan MacKinnon on one side, and Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl, and Evander Kane on the other, and not to mention questionable goaltending, I think, from both sides here. So give me the over 6.5, over 7, whatever you can get it up.
What'd you think of my Draisaitl prop that I gave out on my 7 free picks in just 5 minutes? Over 1.5 points. He's been over 1.5 points 5 of the last 5 games. The Edmonton games have been high scoring, right? So this is. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say he had an outstanding series against Calgary. I think he had 17 points in 5 games. It was insane to watch. I think he's the 3rd fastest or 4th fastest player to 50 points in a playoff. So he's playing out of his mind right now, and I think in this one, I think you got to go with over 1.5 points for Leon Draisaitl. And it's I just remembered it's over 50 points in his career. He's the 4th fastest. So yeah, he's absolutely insane right now.
Brian, what are your thoughts on this gem of a game?
No, it's a gem of a game. I even though you're paying about -140 in the juice, I think I'm going to take the Oilers plus the 1.5, plus the goal and a half here. I just think the Oilers come out and punch the Avs in the face. It wouldn't. Punch them in the mouth. I wouldn't be surprised if they took the game, but I just feel like it's a safe move to take them with the goal and a half. Like Colorado, everybody's going to be humping up on that puck line. And I also lean towards the under. I know we have 2 high-powered offenses, but sometimes when you're thinking one way that it's going to be easy to go over, it goes way under the total. And I think the goaltending on the Oilers step up in this one because they're going to be up. It's going to be a huge test, but I think Edmonton's up for it. So my main play is the plus 1.5 puck line Edmonton.
All right. I don't have the lucky penny with me, but if I did, I would flip it for you guys. But instead of flipping lucky penny, why don't we go to the promo section? Brian, what do you got cooking today?
Well, I got my 3-dog Tuesday night. I'm going to try to bounce back from yesterday. All Major League Baseball dogs, including my Major League Baseball game of the month, all for $40 at pickdogs.com, premium picks. And if you're not a YouTube premium VIP member, make sure you check that out. It's the best deal in handicapping.
Yeah, and for me today, I got my back to the well with my $15 pickoff play, best bet on the board for a great price, and then I also got an MLB triple play, 3 other plays on the board that I absolutely love for today. Got that for 30 on 95, both packages guaranteed. So make sure you check those out.
I've got my $15 big play. I've got a 3-pack, which does not include the big play. And then I also have a bonus play for people that have my longer term subscribers, for people that have a 3-day pack or longer. I have a bonus play as well. I got it all: run lines, I got dogs, I got favorites, you name it. We got it all covered on today's package. I really like today's card. I haven't liked the card so much the last few days, but we've been picking our way through it. I think I was 3-1 yesterday on yesterday's card. So, we saw, I was thinking of you, Chris, when I was watching the game. My $15 big play was the Mets run line yesterday at plus money. And, the Nationals open up with a 3-run lead to start the game. And then, he walks out onto the mound and Eric Fede starts doing things that only Eric Fede can do. And, I was thinking of you the whole time. And, he escaped out of that first inning, allowing just 2 runs. But then, we knew that was going to be short-lived. That second inning, I think, had they not maybe given the Nationals some generous calls there, it might still be going. It could still be going.
Yeah, that's what I get for giving Eric Fede an ounce of credit, an ounce of respect, and just comes back to burn me under the butt. But that's okay. Today we'll straighten that out for the Washington Nationals.
It's kind of like Michael Jordan. You send him out to the mound and you just got to let him create. And that's what he did. And you don't see Marte hit too many tape measure home runs, but that's the type of stuff that Fede can do for you. Marte just not the guy. Like when we do our home run props, how many times have we picked Marte, in the last 2 years? I think 0, right?
Mine, -2.
Yeah, -2. And, there he was rounding the bases, jogging. Yeah, it was crazy. It was it's amazing how you could walk a guy and nearly give up a home run to the same guy and then nearly walk a guy and actually give up the home run to the next guy. It's like Fede it's amazing how he can work the pitch count, to just high numbers, and it doesn't take him that many batters to get there. It's pretty amazing stuff. It's just a note to all the kids out there. Take some notes and maybe you could learn something. Anyways, love me some Eric Fede. Get to today's action. And got a good card of games here. We got Rony Garcia and Devin Smeltzer kicking it off with a 1:10 Eastern Time start in the Motor City. Got the Guardians and the Royals, and the Filthies against the Giants. Chris, what do you think of these 3?
That's a good name. I think I'm going to have to start calling them the Filthies. I'm going to go with the Minnesota Twins in Game 1. I think, Rony Garcia had a nice start, but I think Devin Smeltzer's pitching very, very well. And I don't really want to step in front of the Twins in the favorite role here. So give me the Minnesota Twins at a reasonable price in Game 1. And I'm also going to take the San Francisco Giants. I know Ranger Suarez has had decent numbers the past couple of years, but he's really sort of stumbled around as of late. He's allowed 3 runs in 4 of his last 5 starts. And I think Jacob Junis, he's enjoying pitching for San Francisco. I know he's always capable of getting blown up, but San Francisco hitting lefties at a crazy clip over the last month. I think they get to Suarez here and get themselves a win.
Brian?
Yeah, for me in that grouping of games, it might be too good to be true, but I'll take the Minnesota Twins with Smeltzer on the mound. I think he'll give you 7 strong innings, and Rony Garcia, I don't think he can go more than 4, and then you get the Detroit Tigers bullpen. Tigers are playing a little bit better baseball, but for me, the Twins on the money line and the juice, that's the way to go. Phillies and Giants, I'm going to take the over 9.5. I think the Phillies alone could give up close to 9.5 runs today. You got Suarez, who isn't bad, but he's good for about 4 or 5 runs. And then you got the Phillies bullpen and Jacob Junis. I think the Phillies can score some runs on him. So I'll take the over 9.5 in that matchup. It's hot too.
I love the Yerfie in that Phillies Giants game. The Yerfie plus some. Chris, maybe we can look at some extended Yerfies here in that Phillies Giants, maybe the 1.5 range, if we can get there. The thing is, when you have a total that's higher than 1 run per inning for the game, a lot of times we lose a lot of the value on these Yerfies, but still has to be something there. And then I like the first 5 under in the Guardians-Royals game. The Guardians' bats just seem to go quiet, man, every time after they win a game. And they just go super quiet. So I think that one's first 5 under Guardians-Royals.
Second, I'm just pulling up the alternate line for the first inning. Over 1.5 plus 210.
Love it. It's not as good as we had hoped, but you got to expect it when you're over that 1 run per inning, then you're probably going to get that. And you have, Jakob Junis pitching. Anyways, we've got Jordan Montgomery against Noah Syndergaard in the stadium in the Bronx. Yankees, Angels. Angels 5 in a row they have lost after I said they were a World Series contender. Orioles against the Mariners, and the Blue Jays up against my Chicago White Sox. Brian, what do you think?
Whew, boy, this is a tough segment here. I don't know who's pitching for the Baltimore Orioles, but I think I'm going to back George Kirby today. He's got a world of talent, and he hasn't looked great in his first 2 starts, but I think he's going to be more comfortable out there in his 3rd start this year. And
it's his 4th, right?
I thought it was his 3rd.
Gotta be at least his 4th.
Let me look quick. No, you're right. He's had 3 starts. This is his 4th start. You're right. But I think he's going to get more comfortable the more starts he gets. Depending on the price, as long as it's under minus 145, which it should be, I'm going to take the Mariners on the money line. And then the White Sox and Blue Jays, maybe they're begging me into the Chicago White Sox, but I'm going to fall for it. I think with Giolito on the mound and the White Sox lineup, even though they're not as great on the road, I think Chicago at this price for me, I'll be in that. Gausman's been awesome, but it's just paying you too much plus money not to take the White Sox.
Chris?
Yeah, and that Toronto-Chicago matchup, I'm going to go with the over. I think both pitchers have been pitching fairly well, but I'm worried about Toronto's bullpen potentially blowing this one late. And I think Giolito might give up 3, maybe even 4 runs against this Toronto lineup. I think we can get to a 5-4 final here at the very least. So give me the over 7.5 in that one. And once the line is released, I'm going to go with the under in that Seattle-Baltimore game. I just like that to be a low-scoring game, maybe a game where George Kirby can sort of get back on track, as the Baltimore Orioles haven't been all that imposing as of late. But I think it's going to be a low-scoring game there. So give me the under.
I gave out the Blue Jays in the video, but I actually like the White Sox in that game. It's the type of game that they usually win. The type of matchup, the one where they're up against the other team's better pitcher, and all that kind of stuff. So I just think that. I like the White Sox in that one. I'm going to do an about face. I'm going to own it so no one can say, hey, you said in the video this thing, and now you're saying this. I'm saying it because I can see it through the clarity, through the light of day, as they say. I'm taking the White Sox. Anyways, we move on. And we are going to move to the Tigers and Twinkies game 2, the Red Sox and the Red Legs, and then the Mets versus the Nationals. Oh man, first you have Fede, now you have Corbin. This is just, they are setting record for beer and hot dog sales at Citi Field just by the sheer length of these games.
Trevor Williams is no prize.
Chris, not at all. That's why I said this game could go on all night. Chris, what's your record for beers and hot dogs at a game?
Beers, not many. Hot dogs, we'll talk about that another time. But
we know you don't actually compete in the Nathan's hot dog eating contest, but how do you prepare for watching the Nathan's hot dog eating contest?
Well, same way they do. Starve myself for 3 days and then time myself at the pace as they're mowing down the hot dogs. Except I have to run back to the microwave every 30 seconds to put more on the plate. So it's an athletic event in and of itself. But I'm going to go with the Cincinnati Reds here. Luis Castillo, he's pitched fairly well, and I also like the under in this game. I think Castillo's starting to really get his feet back underneath him and get comfortable after a late start to the season for him. And I think it looks like, from what I was seeing, it potentially could be Michael Wacha for the Red Sox. If that's the case, I still like this one to go under the total, even though Wacha's regressed a little bit. And I'm gonna go extended line on the over in that Washington-New York Mets game. I like the Yurfee. I like the over 2.5 in the first inning, over 3.5. I think this is just going to be runs in bunches. I think the outfield staff is going to have a long night picking up balls out of the stands. So give me the over in that one.
Yeah, for me in this grouping of games, I like the Cincinnati Reds on the money line. I think we've seen Boston choke games like this away all year, and I think Michael Wacha starting to regress a little bit after that tremendous start. My guy Luis, I think he's going to get stronger as the season goes on. Definitely could end up on another team in a trade. And Washington, the Nationals, and the Mets, I'm going to take the over 9.5. I think with Corbin on the mound and Trevor Williams, who usually goes about 4 innings or so, I think we should be able to get to this total of 9.5 easily.
Yeah, the Nationals bullpen definitely got used up last night, and I expect them to get used up again here today. This is going to be pretty ugly. I like any kind of overs that you can get in that game. I think 9 is just really cutting yourself short. I think you should be looking in the 11.5 range in something like that. I love the Yurfee. I also I just. I'm just feeling it. Anyways, I don't know. This Tigers Twins series this is one of those American League Central series that's just I can't just roll over and take the favorite. It's like, because the numbers don't support it. The Tigers actually have traditionally played the Twins really, really tough. I like Castillo at Fenway Park. I think the public generally underestimates Red Sox slippages. They won't. Yesterday's loss to the Orioles, they'll kind of discard it like that wasn't supposed to happen or something. But when we look at the Red Sox record and their performance over the course of the year, the closer they seem to get to 500, and the more they get to winning records over a short period, that's the closer they get to a losing record over a short period. So as easy as they're 7-3 in 10 games, they're 2-8 in the next 10, and that's just the model of inconsistency that they are, because they don't have a number 1 starting pitcher, and they don't have a number 2 starting pitcher, and so on and so forth. Just keep going right down the line. They just don't have starting pitcher. They don't have any. They have none. They don't have a starting pitcher that could crack the rotation in Milwaukee. So I think they are in deep doo-doo. Speaking of deep doo-doo, we got the Cardinals against the Padres. We've got the Rangers against the Rays, and the Cubs against the Brewers. Brian, what do you think?
Well, if you guys want my Rangers Rays, make sure you tune into my Money in the Bank play. It's going to be posted right after we go off the air here. And then out of that grouping, I like the Milwaukee Brewers, the Chicago Cubs. I'm going to take the Chicago Cubbies today. Maybe I'm a Cubs sucker. Just the Brewers have been so dominant. Lauer, I think he got Justin Steele's off a game where he got absolutely blown up. Before that, he had 2 quality starts. I think the Cubs steal this one home. The price looks super light to take Milwaukee at -130.
Yeah, it looked super light yesterday. They were -130 and -120, and they beat the crap out of them. Chris, what do you think?
Yeah, I do like the Cardinals here, only because Blake Snell hasn't looked all that comfortable to me in this one, so far this season. And in this game, the Cardinals are just beating up on left-handed pitching. especially as of late. And I think the Cardinals can get one off of the Padres here. And I like the under 8 in that Texas-Tampa Bay game. I think Perez could have another solid start here, and then the Rays, I expect them to try to show up here as well. So give me the under 8 in Tampa Bay, Texas.
Texas is at a pivotal point in the season here. They have to make a decision. Are they going to be contenders, or are they going to be content to, use this year as a learning experience for next year? Texas is always a big spender. These guys paid Alfonso Soriano $30 million a year. So these guys never shy with the wallet. But the thing is that, you're in that Western division, and it's like you can't wait too long if you want to contend. And they're hanging right there, where they have to make a decision. The thing that they're probably not going to do is beat a team like the Tampa Bay Rays 2 games in a row, because the Rays don't lose 2 games in a row. They don't lose back-to-back games, especially to teams like the Texas Rangers. The Rays are good historically. The reason why the Rays are so good in recent years is, number one, they win the winnable games. They're the kings of the winnable games, like the Cardinals, right? Same thing. We say this about the Cardinals, or I say it about the Cardinals all the time. The Cardinals win the winnable games. And then when they play the other teams, they go about 500 against the winning teams. And that's good enough, That's how you get it done. And that's what the Rays do. They kind of hang around. And here they are, hanging around. You don't hang around by losing back-to-back games to the Texas frickin' Rangers. Anyways, you've got the Cubs and the Brewers, too. I mean, the Cubs, we've talked about this already as well. The Cubs sent us the message loud and clear that they were willing to take this season as a learning experience. You trade away your 3 best players and your closer. It basically says we're prepared to lose for a while. And they're doing just that. Delivering on the promise. That's the Cubs that we know. Delivering on the promise. We go to Coors Field, where another team that seems to deliver on the promise of losing. The Colorado Rockies taking on the Miami Marlins. Herman Marquez on the mound. Got the Arizona Diamondbacks, Humberto Castellanos, up against Charlie Morton, who's really off to a little bit of a slow start. And then we head to Oakland, where Frankie Montas tries to stop the bleeding for the A's. 7-18 at home this year, Oakland. Absolutely deplorable. The thing is like when you have a city that doesn't want the team, right? I mean, they've made it clear with this whole stadium debacle, right? That's been going on in Oakland now for at least the last 2 years, but I think it's been going it's been more front and center with the voting and all that other stuff the last year. But the last, 10 years, they've been trying to get a new stadium there. And now the A's rewarding the home crowd with that 7-18 home record. And then we go to Los Angeles. We return to the scene of the crime where minus 350 was a little out of the range for the Dodgers. They go to minus 333, a Bittler special. Brian, what do you think of these 4?
I think in this yesterday I liked the Pirates. Today I'm going to take the Dodgers, but I'm going to play it up to minus 3.5 at plus 158. I just think the Dodgers get a little bit of revenge today and smack down the Pirates. And I'll take Humberto Castellanos plus 1.5 in the Arizona Diamondbacks. I just think Charlie Morton here overpriced. I think we'll see him come on more towards the second half of the season, but Arizona's done nothing but win. And if you get him at plus 1.5, minus 110, I like that. So that's where I'm at.
Chris?
Yeah, the 2 I like in this slot. I like that over between the Braves and Diamondbacks. Like you said, Mitch Morton off to a rough start to the year. But Castellanos has been no prize pick himself. Both pitchers with a 5+ ERA this season. I think that we can get well into double digits in this one. And I'm going to go with the Pirates plus 1.5. We've already seen the Dodgers lose to Pittsburgh with Urias on the mound earlier this season. I know he can bounce back here, but also 2.49 ERA with a 3-4 record tells me that a lot of times the Dodgers aren't giving him the run support that he needs to get the job done. I know they have one of the more powerful lineups in all of baseball, but maybe a team just has their number. The Pirates have had success against the Dodgers this season, and I think they could maybe keep this one close, if not steal another one.
Okay. going to stay clear of that Dodgers-Pirates thing. The Pirates are a better team than they lead on, but it's just a matter of who they're going to trade at the trade deadline. I think the over in this Rockies-Marlins, I think I like the Yurfee, obviously, with Marquez pitching. I also like the Yurfee in Arizona with Castellanos and Morton. I think both of those guys are susceptible to getting hit. And, that's about it. We move to the parlay segment of the show. Brian, why don't you get us started?
I'm going to take the Phillies and Giants over 9.5 runs. I'm going to team it up here with the over in the Mets and Nationals. And then I'm going to round it off with the Cincinnati Reds on the money line.
I'm going to go with the Yurfee in that Giants and Phillies matchup, and the over 2.5 first inning runs between the Nationals and Mets, and the St. Louis Cardinals on the money line.
Do you think Pick Dogs is the home of the Yurfee?
It might be.
I think we're the only. If we're not the only ones supporting the Yurfee, we're certainly the biggest backers of the Yurfee. I think everybody else went Nerfy, we went Yurfee, right? That's kind of how that went. They say Nerfy, we say Yurfee. Yeah, kind of the way it works. Yes,
yeah,
runs. Yes, there will be runs first inning. I'm going to parlay up the Diamondbacks with the Padres and the Metropolitans -2.5. Thanks, everyone, for joining us. Make it a winning day. We've got the VIP show following this, and we've got our new June special rolling out tomorrow. But while you can, take advantage of our May 15% off. You only got hours left to use it. Thanks for joining us, everyone. As always, we appreciate each and every one of you. Make it a winning day.